Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all acknowledgement, honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah, Hakwadash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is, He exists. And Yahweh Shai is the beloved Son of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai, in ancient Paleo Hebrew, means He deliverer, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names that you should call upon in your daily lives and in hopes for salvation and mercy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and shalom to your hopeful, sincere, elect members. Shalom. The biblical prophecy of the uproar of the people is coming to pass and will continue to happen. All right? Yahweh Shem Shai has left signs for us, has left prophecies for us to look for. And these are one of the things. All right? The uproars of the people. All right? Right now, there's a huge uproar or sedition in France because they're making unrighteous decrees over there, telling the people that they gotta work till they're much more older to receive benefits, of that sort, to receive, to retire. And that's bullshit. All right? That's unjust. So these people that have common sense, they're out there fighting for their future, right? People here in America, it's like these people, they're a different type of breed of stupid. All right? But really it's the food. Over there in the Eastern Hemisphere, they don't eat GMO food. So they're able to think. All right? These Americans, they don't think. So, check this out.
Boo 7. And for all the Americans out there laying down doing nothing, we have our French brothers and sisters coming out by the hundreds of thousands, riding against the enemy. And in this instance, all these people in the streets just stormed BlackRock's headquarters in France and took it over. This is an image from them right here, busting into the place, taking control of it. And at this point, their numbers are so large that they are controlling situations. It's what I've been trying to stress to you this whole time. The power is in your numbers. The power is in the people and the politics that they pressure these politicians with. And at this point, the people in France taking it into their own hands. We have footage showing how they've stormed this place and just how people are all over in the streets rallying, ticked off about the situation currently inside of France. I'll show you some footage here. This is a look here at the people outside of BlackRock's main headquarters there in France, in Paris. A majority of these people have already entered the building. So again, this is a huge move in terms of trying to prove a point. The people in France doing it like no one else globally right now. They're out every weekend. They're out there fighting for their freedoms and their rights, and they're not letting no one stop them. So, big moves being made in France as they continue to rally and to ride against the beast. It's a lot more than what you can say for other countries that taking control of situations in the streets.
And that's biblical. All right. Job chapter 20 and verse 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity. So the internet is exposing Esau, the so-called white man, exposing these rich elites and these financial institutions. You know, it's exposing them of what they're doing to their own people. And the earth shall rise up against him. So they're going to rise up against Esau, the so-called white man, in the midst of his new world order. All right? In the midst of his plans. Because, you know, the verses up goes into the new world order. And this is prophecy. That the earth shall rise up against him. And people are going to continually rise up against this devil. All right? The difference is you Americans are stupid. Can't you see the earth is slowly rising up against this man? Against his plans? While you Americans, you just sit over here and accept everything. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So the earth is rising up against this guy because the information is coming out. You know, the people are actually knowing who's responsible for their lives being miserable. You know, they know it's the elites. They know it's these a powerful financial institution. And that's why they were rising up, protesting the BlackRock headquarters, because that's a very powerful financial institution that owns a lot of assets in business. All right, majority of the businesses, they have assets of those businesses. All right, and they're a very powerful corporation, and these people really, they can't get to the elites, so they're trying their best to get to something that's close to someone with power. And BlackRock is a very powerful financial institution, and we're gonna go into that. So real quick, yeah, because people are finding out. They're finding out.
To escape from the matrix you're living in right now, you need to make at least 10K per month, and you need.
Now check this out.
Same banks that were helping to get bailed out, making Larry. by a very well-connected
bigger than the Federal Reserve let the public or even members of Congress know at the time.
During the 2008 meltdown, when the government bailed out too big to fail giants like Bear Stearns, AIG, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, who did they hire to analyze and clean up the mess? Another giant financial firm by the name of BlackRock, led by a very well-connected billionaire by the name of Larry Fink. BlackRock was awarded these key government contracts to help with the meltdown with no competitive bidding while being enveloped in secrecy. Basically, Larry Fink was hired to be the manager of Washington's bailout of Wall Street, even though BlackRock is one of the biggest shareholders in the same banks they were helping to get bailed out, making Larry Fink the most powerful man in the post-bailout economy. Fast forward to the 2020 pandemic.
Rick, quick question for you, sir.
So if these people, they can't get to the elites because they know the elites are the most powerful people, they gonna try to come at, you know, another prominent or person that has power.
We're just getting word from the Federal Reserve, and this might be boosting the markets even more this afternoon. They are talking about the details of their corporate.
We are committed to using our full range of tools to support the economy and to help assure that the recovery from this difficult period will be as robust as possible.
But again, as I mentioned, the Fed 2 weeks ago began buying individual corporate bonds, and we just got granular detail about what types of purchases it made yesterday.
And who did the money printer of the US, the Federal Reserve, hire? Even though, again, the same corporations BlackRock was helping to bail out were the same corporations that they own some of the biggest stakes in.
Keep in mind, though, these are just the top 10 holdings. The whole list, which the Fed has published, that could be part of the Fed's portfolio as well.
Larry Fink was the most powerful man in the post-bailout economy, and now he's arguably one of the most powerful men in the post-pandemic economy as well. And yet, despite all his considerable power, the general public has practically never heard of Larry Fink, with BlackRock barely coming into the public eye during the recent claims that they were buying up single-family homes. That's because Larry is smart. He's intentionally kept it that way. He spent the last 33 years building BlackRock into the biggest asset manager in the world, with over $9 trillion under their management. Not just building BlackRock into the biggest asset manager in the world, with over $9 trillion under their management. Not billion, trillion with a T. Today, BlackRock's clients include the retirement accounts of average everyday people in the form of pension funds. They also have sovereign wealth funds as their clients, other central banks, college endowment management. Not billion, trillion with a T. Today, BlackRock's clients include the retirement accounts of average everyday people in the form of pension funds. They also have sovereign wealth funds.
Yeah, even retirement and individuals, civilians. I didn't catch that the first time, but now I'm catching that. So these people have a lot of control and power.
As their clients, other central banks, college endowments, Fortune 500 companies, and millions of individual investors. They're one of the top shareholders of many of the biggest publicly traded companies like Apple.
So they pretty much own a lot of people's money. All right? And people that invest, they're involved. All right?
Microsoft, Facebook, and even other major banks like Wells Fargo and Chase. And to put their $9 trillion into perspective, the 300 largest pension funds in the world only hold a collective $6 trillion. Vanguard, the behemoth behind mutual funds and ETFs, trails behind that. Larry Fink is no doubt unaccomplished. Industrial and commercial. In 2010, they were called the most influential financial institution in the world. And in 2014, they had $4 trillion under management, making them the world's biggest asset manager. For comparison, the industrial.
So, see, the people are protesting because they want to have the most powerful institution, they want to have their attention, so changes could happen. But what is happening is meant to happen because it's the Lord that's doing all of this. 2 Ezra 9:1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. So we measure what time we're living in by the scriptures, the prophecies, the signs to look for. Use news and match them with with the scriptures. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Lord is doing that consistently. And it's through judgment or so-called natural disasters. That's how the Lord is visiting the earth right now. Wherefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So that is a sign. People in the spirit of sedition, complaining, marching, rioting, that is part of the signs. All right, that is part of the things to look for. Because that means the Lord is getting ready to come back, and he's also visiting the earth. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, for like as all that is made in the world had an beginning and an end, the end is manifest. So these things that are taking place is the manifestation of the end. All right, it's revealing, like, look, this is the end. You got people rioting, people risking their lives, petitioning their government. Now check out a different translations. There's a bunch of them, and look what it's gonna say. Chapter 9, verse 3. And there will be earthquakes, national rebellions. What are these people doing? They're in a spirit of they're in an uproar. And to their government, that's a national rebellion. All right, national rebellions. And then these translations, they tend to add their own, and it says international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. Now check out the other ones. Same thing. So when there appear in the world earthquakes, tumult of peoples. See that? Tumult of peoples. A bunch of commotion going on. All right? A lot of noise. People rioting. And then at the top it says more about the signs of the end. This is parts of the signs of the end. And he answered me and said, measure carefully in your mind, and when you see that some of the predicted signs have occurred, then you will know that it is the very time the Most High is about to visit the world that he has made. So when there shall appear in the world earthquakes, tumults of people, intrigues of nations, wavering of leaders, confusion of princes, then you will know that it was of these the Most High spake from the days of old and from the beginning. For just as with everything that occurs in the world, the beginning is evident and the end manifest. So the end is manifest. If people are in a uproar, that means something is wrong. Same thing for this one. think there's another one that gave a little bit different translation. And it says, verse 3. This is the Common English Bible. When the movement of places, which is earthquakes, tumult of peoples, plotting of nations. So tumult of people. This is part of biblical prophecy. All right. What we're witnessing is the manifestation of the end before Yahushai return. All right. And these people think they're doing something, but hey, they're better than these fucking Americans that's just out here just accepting everything. But I was thinking about it. You know, I spoke to a brother today, and I'm like, man, these people, they're taking it, but there's finally gonna be a breaking point. There's gonna be a breaking point. All right, to where there is gonna be chaos out here. All right, so you Americans, prepare yourself, because sedition, uproars is coming to this place. You looking at all these other nations, you're ignoring what they're writing about, they're making a tumult about. Well, soon, you yourself is going to take to the streets, and it's going to be blood and violence. All right, it's going to be by the way of blood and violence. 2 Ezra 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men. Now you go into this word, check this out. Sedition is over conduct, such as speech and organization that tends towards rebellion against the established order. Sedition often includes subversion of a constitution and incitement of discontent toward or insurrection against established authorities. Sedition include any commotion, though not aimed at direct and open violence against the law. That's what's coming here. So don't get too comfortable watching these other countries and their people going at their government. No, this is coming here. You're going to go against your own government. Why? Because by the time you realize they fucked you, it's going to be too late. And then, y'all, shit. It's going to tell you, reading on down, it's going to be so bad. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. So it's going to get so bad out here that there's not going to be no more being civilized or being how do they call it, no moral conduct, no system in place. All right, people are going to be invading one another. Home invasions, space invasion, meaning invade each other's space. They should not regard their kings, those that are in charge, your presidents, nor princes, nor your mayor, nor your local authorities, your deputies, your sheriff. In the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. People are going to take arms. They're going to take matters into their own hand. You're going to have a lot of Edomites out here saying, we got to save America. All right, because it's gonna be too late. The government, which ultimately is the elites, are gonna do you Americans so bad. Their own people. You're gonna take to arms, right, and fight against your government, and it's gonna get so bad. And check it out. It's gonna get so bad. It's gonna tell you. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Check out Last of Us. The cities were barricaded. You had checkpoints. You know, you had curfews. You had restrictions. You had soldiers. Oh yes, best believe, out of this chaos order that the elites are going to try to establish is going to be there, meaning they're going to have their barricades. They're going to have, checkpoints. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Because of pride. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Men, grown men, the most masculine men you could think of, they're going to be in fear. Women they're going to crumble like cookie. All right? There's not going to be no more system in place, man. There's not going to be no more system in place to protect you women or to protect anybody. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And here is why. And spoil their goods because the lack of bread and for great tribulation. There's going to be a famine, but when it's chaos like this, you got to think about it. The economy is not going to be running. Work is not going to be running. Trucks delivering food, it's not going to be running because it's going to just be chaos out here. All right, it's going to get so bad to where people are going to go door to door. They're going to go on scavenger hunts because there is no food. And for great tribulation. A lot of suffering, a lot of pain is going to be out here. Tribulation is going to be these people's best friend. No more mirth, no more happiness, no more good times. All right? It's going to be surviving, taking someone else's stuff and surviving. So, hey, this sedition that's coming here, it's going to be on it's going to end America. All right? Meaning it ain't going to be the same no more. Things ain't going to be operating to where the local grocery store gets stock by every couple days. And nah, man. That time, shit, jobs ain't going to matter. None of that. There's going to be running to survive, hiding to survive, finding food, main objective. But for us, we going, the Lord is going to be our protection, Lord willing. But yeah, brothers, I didn't want to make this lesson long, I just wanted to make it to the point, and to Wadi Abba Shemel Shai. Brother told me to do a lesson on this, and definitely is something to keep an eye on, because the same behavior is gonna come same thing is gonna come here, but on a whole different level. All right, shalom, brothers.